The 8th installment of the Women in Tech experience is set to take place in Midrand in November. The platform is dedicated to celebrating as well as empowering women in ICT small business entrepreneurship as well. Now, the Innovator Trust has called on women to join this year's Shevolution. The one-day program will feature keynote addresses and lively and insightful panel discussions featuring a blend of cross-industry seasoned experts as well as emerging icons. Joining me now is CEO of the Innovator Trust, Tashline Jooste. Tashline, a pleasure to have you in studio this afternoon. Firstly, tell us a bit more about the Shevolution experience. How does it contribute in recognizing but also celebrating this diverse pool of talent in the tech world?
So let me first start with the Innovator Trust. The Innovator Trust specifically is dedicated to the support of small businesses within the ICT sector specifically.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we created this platform, which is the Women in Tech experience, and the Shevolution theme for this year is specifically about acknowledging women that are often overlooked within our society as entrepreneurs and women in technology. I mean, it's a really challenging environment to be in technology within the South African context. As we know, there are not many women in the technology space within South Africa. And for that reason, we not only acknowledge them, we celebrate them, but we also award them. So they've been beneficiaries on our program over the last couple of years, and we are awarding these women for their effort, their time, their growth in this industry.
Yeah.
To build sustainable businesses. It's clearly a big challenge for entrepreneurs, and the mere fact that they have been able to grow sustainable businesses need to be acknowledged, and I think this platform clearly provides that kind of encouragement, but also that inspiration to other women that if they can do it, then surely I can as well.
Let's speak about the event happening in November. What can we expect, and especially from the keynote speakers there?
You know, we've been very lucky that we've been very honored actually for amazing speakers to have graced our platforms in the past. Yeah. And this year is no different. So the speakers that we have are going to be exploring discussions such as AI. They'll be discussing the wellness of women, digital transformation specifically, and also the monetization of the influencer. And I think that's quite a big topic. Many of our speakers are women that have been celebrated in the industry. They are icons themselves. They have businesses that they have run highly successfully throughout the last couple of decades within the South African context. And I think that's really important to bring women that have those experiences and those stories into an environment where small businesses and entrepreneurs have the opportunity to hear from them, to learn, to glean new experiences, to glean knowledge, because everybody sits in a very challenging environment right now. And what are the successes that they've had in business that they can translate, and the entrepreneurs can learn from that?
You touched on this at the beginning of our conversation, the focus on women in tech. Why exactly?
Firstly, there are very few women in the ICT space, within the tech space, on the continent as well as in South Africa. And it's so vital that we expose more women and girl children to technology, because we do believe that it has the opportunity to change the face and the future of Africa. If we consider that the technology is not just about being a utilization of technology, but exposing the girl child, exposing women to technology. It's about how do I become the next innovator? How do I create the next digital platform myself? So how do I create a tech entrepreneurship environment for my society, for my community? And that's why technology is so vital. It can transform the face of what the future would look like. It ultimately could transform the potential for our children in terms of what they could have for the future.
Let's speak about accessibility to this event. It's taking on a hybrid model. Please explain a bit further on this.
It's taken on a hybrid model, firstly because, yes, we do have a live in-studio audience as well, and those would be our beneficiaries that are attending. But we also created the virtual platform. I mean, we live in a virtual world right now. We have all of this technology, all of this this entire digital age. And for that, being able to offer these masterclasses, the profound speakers, these insights, we also have the exhibitors at the live experience. But having all of that and being able to translate that into a virtual space to reach more women. We all have a smartphone. Most of us have the smartphone and the mobile access. So take the experience to the women where she is at versus waiting for her to come to you.
Is this a free event? And how can people access the event itself?
So the Innovator Trust Women in Tech Experience is actually taking place on the 16th of November. You have the opportunity to register on the link. The link is available on our website, on our social media platforms for Innovator Trust. Click on the link. The registration is very easy. You'll receive a registration link after that, and you'll be able to access it.
You'll be able to access it. Let's speak more about the Innovator Trust. I mean, you join us in your capacity as CEO of this organization. Tell us a bit more about it and what it seeks to do.
So, as I said, the Innovator Trust really is about the growth of small businesses within the ICT sector. And what we do is create programs specifically that allows for that growth. None of our programs are 3-month or 4-month programs. They're actually 1 to 2 years. So an entrepreneur who is in ICT joins this program and ultimately has to go through a 2-year incubation program with the Innovator Trust, which can take the shape of workshops, mentorships, coaching, technical resources, etc. And the aim of that is to build sustainable businesses, not just having a training session, really building sustainable businesses for the future. The second thing is we've also created various platforms of engagement, whether it be webinars that you can engage on. Alternatively, the Women in Tech Experience is one of those. Over the last 2 years, we've also created another platform, which is Her Seat at the Table. The reason for creating that platform was so that women who had a seat at the table could share on how they have stayed at the table, what their experiences have been, how they can transform and potentially inspire other women to get there without thinking or seeking that it could be extremely challenging. Because yes, there is an opportunity for it to be very challenging, but how have you managed to stay there? You know, what have you done to change the face? And when we have Her Seat at the Table, it really provides that platform again where we have the iconic women in business, women that have told their stories, shared their insights, and authentically. You know, you need a platform that shares everything authentically.
But why is it so important then to share these experiences? And when you have powerhouses like the people who will be speaking at this event, the likes of Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng, Ipileng Kari, Nontando Mposo, as well as Sazini Mojapelo, I mean, here's an opportunity for young women in the tech sector to interact with these powerhouses. Why is it so important to share these experiences and stories?
I think, number one, you actually touched on a very relevant point there, to interact with these women. It's very seldom that the entrepreneurs and the SMMEs have the opportunity to interact with women such as Professor Mamokgethi or Ipileng, etc. And this platform offers them that, where they can have the one-on-one conversations. But secondly, they have really built and been resilient in how they've managed to create their brands, their businesses, their grit, their staying power. And I think that needs to be shared. They have great stories to tell. And, you know, there are many challenges, as I said, that women face, but what were the opportunities that they identified as a result of those challenges? How did they utilize that to further their careers, further their organizations? It's really important to have platforms such as these, and I do encourage more of these platforms to be created, specifically to not just have the engagement, but to learn from this and take away from that, you know, not just the conversation, but the inspiration and the fact that if those women could do it, then so can I.
On a personal level, Tashline, are there stories or experiences that really stood out for you, or success stories that have emanated from these interactions?
Absolutely. If I just think of some of the women that have been on our program, when they started with us, there's a chance that you don't have much confidence because you don't really believe in yourself.
Yeah.
But through the program, we've been able to show women that they have self-worth. Over the last decade, over the last 50 years, women have really evolved, and they've realized that they are more independent, they are more resilient, and they're more confident. And as a result of that, if I look at the women that have come through our program, they've built their businesses from, I would say, a 5 million rand business to a 20 million rand business, for instance, where they've employed maybe 400 people. They're now employing 2,000 people. And that's significant growth that comes through programs such as the Innovator Trust program, and then allowing them the opportunity to engage at the Women in Tech experience with other like-minded, but not just that, to ensure that you have platforms where you can collaborate, seek skills that you might not have in your business, identify resources from other women's businesses, and in that way, it provides for that scaling, for that opportunity to scale your business and grow your business. And that's just mentioning one entrepreneur. We have so many. We've got another young entrepreneur that started in our startup program, and she's been a phenomenal young woman. She started out in startup. She's now in the incubation program. She's a young engineer. She's worked all over, and she's got so many clients. She's grown from having 2 clients to having in excess of 12 clients in the space of a year. So highly significant that we have platforms, one, and programs that can support women to grow into sustainable businesses in tech.
And very quickly, remind our viewers how they can register for this event.
Again, please go onto the Innovator Trust website, www.innovatortrust.co.za. Alternatively, on our social media pages, click through to the link. It's very easy to register, and you'll get a registration link.
Tashline, all the best with the event, and thank you for joining us in studio.
Absolutely, thank you.
That was Tashline Jooste. Of course, she's the CEO of the Innovator Trust, also telling us a bit more about the Shevolution experience.